Shout out to Miss Butterscotch for sending me this story. Now, one thing on my channel that I usually tell people that I don't do is reach far back to do stories. I like to try to keep everything as current as possible. But when I got sent this story, I said I had to speak on it because I thought it was very current, as in something that happened sometime this year, but it actually is something that happened back in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. And the actual outcome came about last year in November. Now, I never heard of this story at all at either time. If y'all live in Louisiana, because this is where it occurred, maybe you heard about it, but it just didn't get that much traction, although it should have. So in this picture, you see three individuals. On the left, you see a man by the name of Christopher Manuel. He is a Baton Rouge police officer. On the right is a woman by the name of Brittany Stevens. And in the middle is a little girl by the name of Sayara Steven. I don't know if I pronounced her name correctly. And he crashed into Brittany Stevens while she had her daughter in the car. Hit her car so hard that her daughter got ejected from the car, flew out of the car, and died. Do you know that they did not charge him with anything? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. However, plot twist, they charged the mother with negligent homicide because they claim she did not properly secure her daughter into the car seat. Let me say that again. They charged him with nothing for driving that fast and crashing into this woman's car and causing her child to get ejected from the seat and flown out of the car, dying. But they charged the mother with negligent homicide because allegedly she did not have the child properly secure in the car seat. However, they did end up dropping the charges against her. There was no reason why she should have been charged in the first place. He was the one that was off duty and driving and taking off like a bat out of hell. And he crashed into her. Let me go ahead and read this story. An off-duty police officer who killed a 1-year-old girl when he crashed his sports car into her family's SUV at 94 miles an hour will not be charged. Christopher Manuel, a police officer in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, will not be charged, I should say was not charged, with speeding in connection with the crash that sent 1-year-old Sayara Steven flying from her family's vehicle in October 12th, which was 2 years back in 2017. Police originally arrested the girl's mother, 21-year-old Brittany Stevens, on suspicion of negligent homicide, claiming the child would not have been ejected from the car if she had been properly secured in her car seat, and that charge was later dropped. East Baton Rouge District Attorney Hillard Moore said the decision not to charge Manuel came after prosecutors felt they could not meet the burden of proof for homicide or negligent injury. Are you kidding me? The guy was driving 94 miles an hour. I know he surpassed every speed limit. And based on what I'm hearing, it doesn't sound to me like he was on open road. It does not sound to me like he was on a highway. It sounded like he was in an area that was around maybe traffic lights. But let me read that again why they said they didn't charge him. They decided not to charge him because the prosecutors felt they could not meet the burden of proof for homicide or negligent injury. In a nutshell, they felt that he did absolutely nothing wrong. It was all the mother's fault. Moore told the Washington Post, "You never want any officer traveling 94 miles an hour. It's just stupid and it's dangerous. But when we looked at the law and the facts and the circumstances, we just thought that this was the only reasonable decision to make." He added that prosecutors were reluctant to charge the girl's mother after she had already punished herself. Wow, talk about cold. They said she punished herself. They literally put all of this blame onto the mother. Here's the thing. He was traveling 94 miles an hour. So even if her daughter was secured in the car seat, who's to say the daughter still could not have faced some bad injuries going that fast? It's just that he was going so fast in a sports car and hit them so hard that the child got ejected. And who's to say the child wasn't already secure and just still flew out of the car? Like, that's messed up. Like I said, that's why I said that's very cold. They said she punished herself. They said, well, we're going to just go ahead and drop these charges against her because, her daughter is dead. We're blaming her. So that's punishment enough. Why give her a burden of putting her in jail on top of it? Marcus Allen, an attorney for Britney Stevens, hit out at the prosecutor for failing to bring charges against Manuel. Allen said that Manuel turned a highway into a raceway. Britney will never see that child again, and now at the end of the day, he literally walks away with nothing. And I'm looking at the picture of his car, and it looks like a crushed soda can in the front. He said that his client texted him to say she was furious and hurt after learning Manuel would not be charged. I told her, you're justified, he said. Manuel remains on the police force, and the department is conducting an internal investigation into the crash. Basically, ain't nothing gonna happen. They said the crash that killed her daughter also left many other family members severely injured. Steven's mother, Janice Johnson, was in the SUV. She suffered a crushed lung and broken bones in the crash and struggled with basic self-care for 3 months after the collision. 3 children were also reportedly injured, including a 15-year-old who now uses a wheelchair and is unable to return to school because of a brain injury. You know what? They should make sure this guy receives, like, that he has to look over his shoulder at all times. Like, this guy literally walked away from this unscathed. He wasn't fired. He didn't lose a pension. He didn't even get placed on administrative leave. He was not charged with anything. They were getting ready to send the mother to jail. Her other family members got hurt. One has to be in a wheelchair. Her mother had to go to rehab and she lost her daughter. And then they tried to blame this whole thing on her. And nothing happened to him. Y'all know, this is exactly why I keep telling y'all need to watch that movie Black and Blue. Because while this guy is clearly a black man, wearing that uniform protected him in a huge, huge way. I wish I would have known about this story way back when. Or even last year when this development came out. This is absolutely insane. This is probably one of the worst cop stories I have done on my channel. And I've done quite a few of them. And he was off duty. He wasn't even on the clock. At that point, he was a civilian. And he was off the clock. He was not driving the squad car. He was not in uniform. He was just doing whatever. And it's crazy because other people got injured in this incident, and from what I see, because they didn't specify, is the only one that walked away with no injuries. Apparently, he's also the only one that walked away with no accountability either. If people want to know out there why many black people don't like law enforcement, here's another drop in the bucket. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.